Next podcast with Chris and Todd.
So, hey, it's actually warm outside. This is nuts.
Summertime, man.
Summertime it is. Hot toddy in full effect. I love it. Like your name I said it at softball the other night and I was like, it is. It's hot and Todd. It's great. I love it.
It's become a lot of things. Like, when I hear you say that, I always think of the wrestler Scotty 2 Hotty.
Okay. Yep.
And so that's where my mind goes. But now there's a drink.
Yes.
And I don't say now. It's probably been around.
It's been around for a
before.
while. Yes, the hot toddy. My daughter Taylor says to her sisters, "Hey, hottie from the same body," and I'm like, "Oh my word, we've evolved so far." My mother, I could just envision as a kid, my mother cringing if she would have heard that. Like Susie would have been like, "I never taught you to speak like that.
You don't
ever
talk like that, girl.
I know. Watch your tone. Watch your words."
Yeah.
Anyway, and all that good stuff. No, it's summer and we're in the middle of it. It's crazy that it's the middle of July already.
You go like sweating with swirls over here.
Sweating with swirls. Start my workout videos next week. It'd be great. Like, how come that video was only 8 minutes? That's as long as it takes me to sweat these days.
I was out of breath 4 minutes in, and I just struggled through the last 4.
I pushed through 4 just for you. It's all about the people. It's all about the people. It's so good. No, so we just wanted to give an update, right?
Yeah.
Like we have both done a couple of things this summer, and we got a little more summer to go, but just some big things have happened. Like I got to go to Israel.
Yeah, I want to hear a lot more about that.
Man, oh my word. It was an unbelievable experience to be able to go, to be able to just kind of go with the team from church. We took, I think 17 or 18 people from church. Yep. Pastor David and his dad led, and then had like 7 or 8 from his dad's church that he's at right now.
Okay.
So just a great group of people that asked great questions, were attentive and focused, and just flying over there and have never having been there before. Yeah. Just one of those moments of sitting back and going, I'm actually here. This is amazing. And I've been a lot of places. I mean, I've been to Japan and Brazil and Czech Republic and Europe, but this still felt a little bit different as soon as you touch down and just being able to go, wow. I think the biggest thing is so much has happened here, right? Like, you know, we talk about America and we're like, well, yeah, like in 1776, that was only 230 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and over there, we're talking thousands of years.
Yeah.
And, you know, but the reality of the sweet part of all that is you are still immersed in what took place 2,000 years ago. It's not like it just disappeared and we built on top of it and we forgot about it. Like they talk about it in such a way, like a hill, a tell, a mound, just where layer upon layer of civilization has been building, and you can like clear back this hill and see some of those layers, and they're still discovering really cool things over there. But
well, what places did you get to see?
So we got to see, I mean, just so many. Got to see En Gedi where David hid from Saul. We got to see some places where the Dead Sea Scrolls were found in these caves. We got to see Asada. Like Herod the Great built some amazing things. Now he was loony, right? But like in Caesarea Maritime where he built stuff, and Asada where it wasn't anything but like, hey, I just want to show off. Just a summer place where you could go. Yep. Got to float in the Dead Sea. Who knew this could float? I mean, it was pretty awesome.
Everything can float.
Everything can float. Yes, and it is. It's amazing. Like you just literally lay back, and it's the coolest experience. It is like the best lazy boy lounger ever.
Didn't you get to see like the Jordan River too?
We did. The Jordan River is not the cleanest looking river. It's like a nice milky coffee. But it still was. We got baptized there. I got to baptize a random guy. I got to be a part of baptizing a guy that was like, hey, you look like a good group. Will you baptize me? And we're like, come on in, man.
Nice.
And it was great. Okay. You know, we saw was on Mount Carmel where, you know, that to me, that was like one of my favorite places to see, was literally where fire fell from heaven, where Elijah was testing the prophets of Baal and Ahab and Jezebel. And just this reality of standing there going, at one time, fire fell from heaven right here. And you're sitting there going, well, they put a church here now, but it's still cool to envision, right?
I feel like the stories just become more alive.
It is. It is.
I've heard that over and over again of just like, you know, you have those spiritual experiences, and this can be one of those. And And I think I saw pictures of you guys like even being where Jesus taught
Yep.
at temples
Yeah.
and those kind of things.
Well, yeah, there was a number of places in Galilee that as you were along the shore of Galilee, whether we were out on the water or we were just in Capernaum where Peter was from, and just a temple a synagogue where Jesus would have taught, and just walking out, and then it was a town where they sold fish in this market right outside the synagogue. You know, imagine walking outside the West location, and then there's 40 vendors all selling fish that were caught in Pactola or Sheridan Lake. And you're like, yeah, it's just a different world. But the things they discovered, like they found this village when they were getting ready to build a retreat center for the Catholic Church. And they had to move the Catholic Church like 200 feet away so they found all of this village. And it was just amazing. But getting to swim in the Sea of Galilee, you know, being on the Mediterranean Sea and being in Joppa where Simon the Tanner was, and just where, you know, all these, like you're saying, all these experiences and stories that we heard and were able to talk about, really, you were able to give some context to some of it or say, wow, this really was intense, like the city of Jerusalem and walking around the city and, you know, being at the Mount of Olives or in the Garden of Gethsemane, you know, when Jesus looks on the city of Jerusalem and he just longs to wrap it in care and love it and to love the people and let them know, you know, just places where Jesus was and you got to stand right there. It's pretty phenomenal.
Random question, like food-wise, what was, because you're a foodie.
Dude, it was all Mediterranean. Like I could eat cucumbers as the day is long, man. It was good. I mean, when Tina cuts up cucumbers, I'm like, Tina, I'll take some of those. Yeah. But no, Mediterranean food, it was just great. You know, whether it was fish or just those, there were like fish nuggets at the motel, but they only had them one night. And so Dr. Long and I were like, man, this is amazing. And then they never had them again. And I'm like, why do you hate us? Like, but it was great. Like just salads and just different.
Good stuff.
I know, bring it on. But they were great at the hotels, just having different opportunities to try different things from around the area. You know, just an egg bar every morning, having scrambled eggs. I mean, I'm an easy guy. That's not true. I'm really probably more difficult.
Yeah, you're more picky. Like I was.
But fresh bread, the coolest thing, sorry to interrupt you. The coolest thing was every morning, and this sounds really hoity-toity, okay, but they had, at this hotel, they had like a fresh honeycomb every morning. So that, to me, a croissant was scraping off some honey off the honeycomb. I was like, this was phenomenal. It was good. It was delicious. It was great honey.
Was there any food that you're like, garbage? That tasted so weird.
It sounds so weird. I don't like, this was terrible.
Right.
There were just things that I was like, that sauce. I'm not a big pesto guy. And I know a lot of people
that's so sad.
Yeah,
Pesto's
I know.
So good.
Pesto is just, it just doesn't work for me. So I know a lot of people love pesto, but yeah, there were a couple of things that people were putting pesto on fish. And I'm like, well, that ruined it for me. So
I'm out.
Yep. But man, you know, coffee all the time. And it was just, you know, you got to stay caffeinated because you're getting up, you're getting on the bus, you're literally going all day, and then you come back, you take a shower, go to supper, and man, I felt old by 8 o'clock. I was like, Rachel, I think I'm ready to go to bed. And she's like, yeah, speak it. So like,
speak the truth.
I know. Like I stayed up talking to Pastor David one night till like 10:30, and I was like, dude, I don't know what we're doing right now. I would have been in bed like an hour and a half ago. As soon as I said it, I'm like, this is ridiculous. But being able to walk into the city, being able to be places, I mean, obviously the garden, tomb, you know, having communion there, just being places like, you know, a lot of it is touristy or a lot of markers and stuff like that where it could have happened or they know it did happen there. But either way, it was just the symbolism of knowing that you are close to where everything that we believe as followers of Jesus took place. Phenomenal. Just such an exciting reminder that, man, just I would say even an affirming time in my faith. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, was there anything that surprised you, whether good or bad?
I just think, I would say one of the things that was a surprise, we went to the Holocaust Museum, and I learned that that is one of the first places where they take world leaders As soon, like literally, they say as soon as they get off the plane, boom, right there to the Holocaust Museum, because they never want to forget the things that took place and the intensity of that scenario. So like all the presidents have been there. They named it like they've been there, and they take it and they show, you walk through so many different scenarios, like people who fought for the Jews or children that lost their lives, and they name the names as you walk through this room, or there's a hall of records. But the museum, we spent an hour and a half in the museum, and I needed another hour and a half. There's letters, there's drawings from camps. That literally and I mean, I've never been to Auschwitz, which I would love to be able to experience that sometime. But this moment and this time in this museum was so impactful. Just seeing the interactions and the ways in which history played out that nobody did, until the war was won, until that. And, and so many of those stories will never be told, right?
Yeah.
So
it is kind of a surprise piece.
Yeah.
Like, I went on an Israel trip. Man, Holocaust was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just being
totally
reminded of that.
Yeah.
But I would say one of my favorite days is we went with the Longs one day, some people from church, and on a free day that we had, and we just got on the transit system and just went to different spots and went shopping and rode. And the people that talked to us were like, hey, we know that the perception is there's bombs, there's scary things going on there. I probably had 2 or 3 people. Thanks for coming to our country still. Thank you for coming. Thank you for still being willing to not be scared off by the things that are shown on the news. And we hope that you enjoy our country. We hope that you enjoy experiencing what you'll experience. And that was really cool. So, just fun interactions with people that are living everyday lives.
Well, I also wanted, for everybody who's
Yeah.
listening and paying attention to this, I'd be like, would you say everybody should add this to their bucket list, and why?
Yeah, everybody should add this to the bucket list, just from the standpoint of it will be a rejuvenating reminder of faith, but it will also be an affirming reminder of faith that God is at work and God is doing something in the midst of your life. And you get to see this. I believe the registration's open for next year already. Prices are set, the time and everything. So people can already and I know it's a big price tag, but definitely something that should be a part of the conversation, like whether next year or the year after, to be intentional. It's worth your time to be there. It is. And not just that. I mean, you get the historical aspect, but there were moments we took breaks and just, was reminded. I think one of the coolest things was, I think it was the city of Bashan, and it was one of the 7 Greek cities. Is it Stepopolis? Was the name of the town, but just where maybe the prodigal son would have run to, when he ran away from his father and gone to this city, and they said this is where all of this that they talk about would have taken place. And you just sit there going, oh, this is where he went to. And you're like, and at the time that city would have been just thriving with people and a lot of debauchery, but you just get an amazing glimpse of that. So I think you get to put some connecting dots together as well. That's another reason why you should go. This connects with this and this connects with this. And you're like, and Jesus literally was on the water here. And that's phenomenal. And so, yeah.
I think if you get the chance, I think especially going with a group like this to where David's dad's been doing this for a long time, knows the crew, knows where to go, those kind of things. And I think it's a great opportunity. And so I love, this has kind of come from David's heart. He's wanted to give this opportunity to our church, but also just, hey, people need to experience this.
Yeah, absolutely. And when he talks about it, he desperately wants you to be able to see that. I mean, and his dad does a great job. Tom does a great job of just putting things in there that will be just advantageous for your faith and just to challenge you to grow closer, because, man, there's always room to grow closer.
Yeah. Well, we'll switch gears now, because the other thing that has been kind of, both of us kind of been part of this, we've had Love Your Neighbor Week.
Wow, did we ever? It was exciting.
Middle of June, and man, it's just, every year we do this. You've been here for, good amount of it, and I've been here since it started. But every year I'm just blown away by the projects that we're able to accomplish.
Yeah.
But also just volunteers and just seeing our church go after community matters. We're not just in it, we're for it.
Yeah. It is. It's really exciting, and you always anticipate that you're gonna like, oh, I'll bump into them again. I'll bump into them. But every year there's a different moment and a different opportunity for us to engage different ministries or different people, and even to serve alongside different people is so much fun. Like we went out to Fullerton Farms for one of the times, and we got to paint some benches, and somebody had picked green and purple, and our team was like, are we really going to paint these picnic tables and benches green and purple? Yeah, because that's what they picked. And it was great. You got done and you're like, it was in Box Elder, like you're looking around going, this is going to stick out and people are going to talk about this and take notice of, hey, you know that place that has green and purple benches? You should go there. It's really cool. But they're doing a great job there, and we got to do some staining and stuff too. So there was a good crew that night of just young adults and a couple other people that were there just laughing and having a good time.
I think it's always, I know for me, it's always just important for me to see, oh, these are some of the nonprofits and what they're doing. And I love that our church gives us opportunities to kind of go like, hey, we're helping them.
Yeah.
It's also kind of fascinating to learn about what they're doing.
No, absolutely.
Because I think we helped Passages, which is a women's home. And then we went to Abbott House, which is another kind of home. But women who have been incarcerated, getting out, and kind of Passages is that in-between time, letting them kind of get back into the community, all those kind of things. But then also you have Abbott House, which is more for teenagers and kind of giving them a home to navigate things too. And so just learning about them and learning kind of all that's going on. And man, there's just projects going all over the Black Hills.
It is. It's exciting. Like just a couple of the things that you mentioned, just the fact that we got to be a part of something that may not seem tangible, but it really gave an opportunity for there to be some boundaries, you know, and maybe that provides safety, and maybe it just helps out people that are already working really hard to minister or to love on or to do their job, that they don't have to think about it anymore. And it's amazing. But no, I would agree. You know, it is fun when you pull up to a place and you know nothing about it, and then somebody says, well, hey, this is the impact that you're making. I was able to, we were at Wellfully one night, and a crew was doing stuff, and I didn't even realize it. I happened to know one of the workers there, and she was like, hey, this makes a big difference, and thank you. And just being able to hear from her, like, hey, this was great. Thanks for coming out 2 nights in a row. And they were just that's one of the favorite parts for me, is when you get to hear from them go, and we're just so grateful that you guys are willing to come and do this every year. So
yeah, I think numbers-wise, I think we accomplished 150-ish projects and partnered with 50-something different organizations or families and those kind of things. And so the amount of volunteers was up there. And so
600 some, I think, or something like that.
Individual, but then
900
But
spots.
900 and some spots filled.
Yeah.
And so it was just, for one who's gone through, you know, studying to be a pastor and all that, you talk about like, okay, mobilize the church, let it become, man, when it's a force to be reckoned with if we do what, you know, God calls us to. And I just, it's one of those moments where, especially if you go to Fountain Springs, you sit here and go, man, that's to be a part of something where it's actually happening. Yeah,
it's funny, like just the other day, and it was a challenge for me. I heard this conversation of this guy was talking about discipleship, and he said, do we have glorified friendships? Do we view discipleship as glorified friendships? Like, we're just friends and we're, you know, but are we really like, hey, how are you growing in your life? And I would say that the door that opens for us to grow in our faith is powerful with service, is so powerful with service. But I would also say that it is a great front door for people that may have never thought about church. And they see people that they don't know, that may not ever know them, but are willing to come and give 1, 2, 3, 4 hours to make a difference and an impact. And they may walk away going, maybe church isn't the experience that I once had or that I remember. And it takes all kinds of opportunities sometimes to engage people and to let them know they're loved and that, man, Jesus cares about them.
Well, and it comes down to sacrifice is the ultimate expression of love, in my opinion. Like, I think the Bible references that, and I think God showed that. And so there's part of us that we get that.
Yeah.
Like, no, I want to sacrifice because I think down deep in our heart, we want to serve others. We want to help others. Now, the level of sacrifice can sometimes be difficult.
This is true.
In that sense. So if it's like a convenient sacrifice, we're like, oh, this is great. I would totally do this all the time.
This really fit into my schedule perfectly.
Yes, exactly. But that's what the parts that I go, the layers to it that I think is, so how the guy goes, yes, okay, beginning component, like you're building connections, you gave up some time, look at the wins that happened out of this. You plugged into the church more, built some relationships, people you got to know, and you did something good.
Yeah.
Those are, I think, even like, okay, surface level wins. Then there becomes this next level of just going, this hurts. Man, like it was hard to take this week off, or it was hard to do this project. But I still am choosing to love in these moments.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm still choosing to sacrifice. And so those are things where it's like, and it hopefully is a springboard for some. It moves them from just, hey, that was convenient in my schedule, happened to work out to, I think I need to do that on a more regular basis.
No, I would agree. I can just think of like two guys specifically that gave all week. Like the one took his job and said, I'm going to take this week off of work and be there. And he was busy every day. And then one of my other buddies that actually was able to do his wedding, and he took all morning every week, the whole week to do stuff. And he started with a couple of Saturday serves. And then he's like, I'm going to serve as often as I can. And the different people that he got connected with throughout the church, it's like now he's more known than he's ever been. And it's not about being known, right? Like, but it is about being known by people that you are doing life with.
Right.
And there's such a powerful statement that goes along with that like, hey, I saw you. I really appreciate maybe. And the beautiful part is maybe it's just a conversation that was had, because you don't just sit there in isolation and work alongside each other. I mean, when you and I and David did that little project together, man, we talked about everything under the sun in that 4-hour moment. You know, it wasn't 4 hours, maybe like 3.5, but it was longer than we thought it was going to be. But the conversations are so rich and so encouraging, and maybe for anything, that's what you need is that connecting piece of being heard, of being seen, or somebody said something that just encourages you or challenges you to grow in your faith.
And I think being known is, I think, part of life. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like it's not. It's like it's not everything, but at the same breath, like it has some weight to it.
It does. Yeah.
Like we don't want to be anonymous.
Nope.
We want to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to be valued. Like that creates an intimacy that we all value. And so, and I know sometimes within a big church, our church, like sometimes it's easy to be anonymous. And so, but when you take the step of like, all right, no, I'm going to do these things. I'm going to try these things. It's awesome to see, okay, like that risk paid off.
Yeah.
Maybe it didn't go exactly how I wanted it to. I mean, but that's a story of any journey with, I think, God. But it's like, man, that was good for me.
Yep.
I needed that.
Well, and it's good for your family too, right? Like just this moment of saying, my girls got to serve, my wife got to serve in different projects, and maybe they weren't like, hey, that was definitely what I signed up for, Dad. No, it doesn't matter. Like, it's just being willing to be available to help whatever the project is. And it's like anything, like, you know, if you go on a mission trip, you come back and you're like, I'll eat raisin beans the rest of my life. And, you know, but after moments like that week happens, you know, hopefully it opened your eyes to see maybe your neighbor or different people that you come in contact with. You're like, man, I could help them with that. And that'd be great. And that's just, that's encouraging, because that calls us to what I believe God calls us to do, is to keep our eyes open for people that may need an extra hand. You know, it talks about it in the Word all the time. Watch out for the widows and the orphans and the poor among you. And we do it because God's calling us to make an impact in our community. So.
Well, it was a great week, and what I love about our church is it's not just like 1 week.
Yeah.
So we'll have second Saturday coming up here in August, and the first Saturday or second Saturday of the month.
Yep.
And so love for you to stay plugged in. If you did love your neighbor, if you didn't, man, come join us for that.
I think August 12th is the next one. So man, you can sign up on the app or the website, or just show up at 8:30 at West location. So.
Yep. And we throw these things out here as just something to have you process during maybe the next summer. So that way you can stay intentional with what God wants you to do, because sometimes it's easy to get, we're all busy. And so sometimes we're too busy to doing whatever instead of doing the things that I think God would want us to do. And some of us, it's just a slower time.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's just like, man, I really love this slower pace. And so it's not a bad thing, but at the same time, doing the things that God wants us to do and calls us to do, that's important.
Yep. And if you have those moments, engage those around you. It's just, it's a blast. So, but no, it's been good. Like, I can't believe, like we said, we're in the middle of July. We're in the Kings of Old series right now and looking forward. But before we know it, it's going to be fall. And you're like, holy cats, how did that happen?
Here we go.
Yeah, I know. Giddy up.
All right. Well, we'll end this segment just having some fun. We'll shoot each other some questions.
Okay.
Summer questions.
Summer questions.
With Chris and Todd.
Yes.
Okay.
Numero uno.
I'll start it off. When it comes to summer, all right?
Yes.
Are you, let's say July 4th, are you I need to go shoot off the fireworks, or I just want to watch the show of fireworks?
I just want to watch the show. I've had my season of lighting off thousands of dollars of fireworks.
Hey, you still have all your fingers and toes.
I do.
Looks
I like
it,
nothing.
So.
So back when I was a youth pastor, I did a couple of years, I did safety videos, and I would go random interviews like, hey, tell me your worst story. We want you to be safe. And literally one guy was like, be safe out there. And I about lost it. He had blown his thumb off and by a firework. And I was like, thank you. You proved the point perfectly. So, but yeah, I like watching the show. If I can take it, I spent $0 this year on fireworks.
I have an important follow-up question to that. Did you want to do safety videos?
I did.
Okay.
Listen, I loved like man on the street videos. I would just pick random people like, hey, I'm doing a safety video for my teens, and I just want, tell me your best fireworks story.
That's so funny to me.
Yeah. That's how I roll, dude. So it was great. But yeah, so I
pastor decides to do safety
Let's
video.
just do some I probably didn't
Fireworks.
follow all my safety rules from time to time. Let's just be honest.
I feel like that's an important resume thing to put on there. Like,
I can do a safety video. I do the safety dance. You can dance if you want, and I don't care. Leave your friends behind.
Okay.
What's your go-to summer meal for the Lynch family? Like, or maybe for just you, what's your go-to meal in the summer?
Pretty much anything that we can smoke, because that becomes a lot more doable during the summer.
Okay.
I know you have your little porch and you can smoke whenever you want, my friend.
Yes, I do.
But I do not.
Okay.
So when it's snowing, when it's raining, smoking is not an option.
Gotcha.
So
fair enough.
Summer gives us a lot more ability to do that, and it's not so freezing cold when you get home.
I agree.
And the Traeger usually works a lot better.
Yeah, you go through a lot of pellets in the cold weather. It's crazy.
And so I enjoy, whether it's, smoking burgers and chicken and all that, there's just a lot more meals on there.
I'm getting hungry now.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
we did smoked butter corn. And I was like, man, this is so, I plowed through some of that. That was so delicious.
You're talking to an Iowa kid. Like corn's an essential part of the Sword Out. Yeah. I had my birthday meal the other day, and we had corn on the cob, scalloped corn, and cornbread and ribs. And it just doesn't get much better.
I feel like, here's my next question.
Okay.
Speaking of food.
Yes.
I feel like a summer food is watermelon.
Okay.
I don't know if people agree with me or not on that.
No, I would say that's probably a pretty safe statement.
Do you enjoy that summer food?
I do. I love watermelon.
I hate's a strong word.
Yeah. No, I would say the Sword Outs go through a copious amounts of watermelon.
The Lynch household does not. I'll just tell you that. Like, I think my kids like it, but I wish one of my girls, and my dad has tried to impart wisdom. I don't know if Sword Out's on the ball on this one, but I would love my girls to find the science of the perfect watermelon every time. That would be great. But yeah, watermelon is a must. A little salt every now and then on there. It's delicious. That's all right. Nope. I was actually disappointed. We were doing Next Steps Experience and there was watermelon out there instead of like our normal like grapes.
Different fruits, yeah.
And I was like, I was like, where's the grapes?
Okay. Well,
where's the berries?
Where's the berries? Where's the grapes?
Anything but watermelon.
I'm just glad you didn't start flipping over trays of fruit and food. Like
I've learned, like there was watermelons and there's pickles.
Yeah.
Two things that I was like,
yeah, you and I are on the same boat with pickles. There's just
was like, no.
No need for that.
Thank you.
If you have 3 hours, what are you doing with your kids in the summer? Like what's one thing you'd love to do with your kids in the summer?
A lot of swimming usually, like going to the pool, those kind of things. I would say that's kind of probably the main thing. That we might go hiking or go to a park.
Sure.
So, like warm weather, we're outside in that sense.
Cool.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So are you, when it comes to summer, are you a pool guy or are you a lake guy?
Man, I tell you what, for the longest time, I used to be a pool guy because I grew up like in the city and the pool was where it was at because you didn't know what was in the lake. Come on. And maybe I was a shy.
None of us still know what's in the lake.
Fearful, timid kid. But now I'm like, you know what? I would definitely say I'm a lake guy. Lake guy would be, just so much more enjoyable. So, yeah.
I'm a pool guy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's all right.
Because, I don't enjoy swimming in what feels like nasty water.
Yeah. Well, you would not have enjoyed the Jordan River.
No, I'm like, this is, and when you have that moment of like, oh, that's swimming. What is that? That's so I enjoy being able to see.
There you go. No, I agree. That's fantastic. I once was in Guatemala and we went down this side with like there were sides of cliffs on all the way down to this area where we were able to swim and get out of the canoes. But one time I swam all the way back and I was with 2 other guys and the whole time I'm thinking, I have no idea what's in this water right now. And I was like, this is a bold move, Cotton. So, but yeah, it was good stuff. This made me think of my question for you. The other day, my mom put a picture online, which moms are just really good at stuff like that. But somebody was like, "Oh, what's up, National Lampoon's summer vacation?" And I was like, "That's rusty to you, okay?" So, and it was of Mount Rushmore. So, and Mount Rushmore has changed drastically since that picture was taken. Where's a place that, like a favorite place that you love going and can't wait to take your kids if you haven't done that yet?
Like just during the summer?
During the summer,
vacation,
like vacation type thing. Where would someplace you can't wait to take your kids?
Locally, one of the places we love to go is Palmer Gulch.
Yeah.
We love doing a little camping there. There's a lot of amenities along with that.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of our local kind of, we usually do it once a year kind of deal. I mean, ideally where we would love to go, I would love to be in the ocean somewhere. I know as like,
as a pool guy, come on.
Here's the deal.
Okay.
See, I don't, lakes, I'm kind of like, I don't get it. Like, I'm just like, this is like a nasty pool we're swimming in. Like,
but there's not sharks in the lake.
Like, I understand you can't maybe, but okay, there's boats, there's all that kind of stuff. Cool. Ocean, I go, there's a lot more things going on here. Okay. There is waves coming in. There's a lot more like things that you can kind of go like snorkeling. You can go see.
Sure.
There's a beach that's usually there. Like around here, there's actually not beach space as much. So I just feel like there's a lot more options.
I'm just saying, if we get nasty emails because you didn't reference Pectola's Beach or shared,
I know. Like, and if you all, all
our friends in the Forest Service are like, never listen to Todd's podcast again.
Have you been to this beach?
Yep.
Sure, I bet it's great. So,
oh, that's fantastic.
So,
thank you for that. That
I'm just like, it's not the ocean. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go. That's okay.
So yeah, I am weird in that.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like lake, I don't get it. Ocean, I'm a little bit more like there's just a lot more components to it.
Yeah,
there's a lot more like things that can hurt you in the ocean too.
Yes, there is.
And so, but I just find that more fascinating, like the whole snorkeling component.
Yeah.
Like you're not snorkeling in a lake.
I'm gonna just say after seeing the recent videos where the orcas attack the boat. I'm less of an ocean guy. Anyway.
Hey, you don't go out far.
I know.
That's
please,
the lesson.
Please don't go to Portugal.
Right.
No, don't do that. So,
last question for you. So when it comes to camping, are you a glamping kind of family or are you, and I could put in that like, got an RV, you got a nice air conditioned place of some sort, or are you the tent people?
Okay, so when I was younger, I used to be a tent guy. Like when my back could handle it. Like that just makes me sound so lame, doesn't it?
Welcome to getting old.
I know. We sold our camper. We had a camper that we picked up super cheap, and we loved it. We just sold it here. Oh man, like a month ago, and we were like, with all our schedules and with the craziness, we just were like, yeah, I would take a camper all the time. I'm sure that when the girls are gone, man, wish we only have 6 more years. Anyway, Rachel and I will probably get a camper again, which is fantastic. I love it. So, yeah. Awesome. All right. So last question for you. Man, I really thought I had like a really good one, but I think it comes back to food related. Like it is like, so,
Three food questions.
What's the favorite way to make a s'more?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. I would probably prefer, when it comes to cooking the marshmallow, please do not burn it on all sides. Come on now.
Don't waste a good marshmallow.
And it actually irks me when my kids just kind of shove it in there and it touches like the piece of the wood and you're just like, what are you doing?
You're all the worst.
Right. Like, what do we got going on? I don't say any of it. Okay. There's some judgmental thoughts.
Sure. Nope. I hear you.
Those kind of things. I'm also like, back away. Please don't get burned. So I want it like good and
nice and toasted.
I also think a Reese's peanut butter cup is better than just a thing of chocolate.
Exactly. So, no, I'm with you on that one. It's so fantastic.
Now let me ask, do you really enjoy s'mores though? If you had other desserts to choose, let's say you're out camping, someone made a pan of brownies or a s'more, which one are you choosing?
I'm going to go with the brownies.
Thank you.
I love toasted marshmallows more than a s'more, because I like the perfection of getting the marshmallow just so. But what I do enjoy is when we go camping, we'll make apple pies in that sandwich thing.
Okay.
And so just cinnamon and sugar, apple pie filling, and crust it up. And that's on point right there.
I would say, you asked about kids activity. One of my, like, going and get ice cream is probably like... That's up there.
It is so good.
Like, let's go get some of that.
I hate when my girls like the ice cream that I like.
I feel like s'more is an overrated dessert, in my opinion. I know it's simple to do in camping, and you feel like it's required.
It's kind of obligatory. Yeah, it's kind of. But no, I would agree. Just give me a good marshmallow.
It's a hot mess, and watching my kids eat it, they've got marshmallow all over their face. Their hands are sticky, and I'm like, was it worth it? Like,
the repercussions of a messy s'more is just out of balance.
I sound so pessimistic about summer right now. I do enjoy summer, everybody. I do.
People are just going to write us out.
They're done. I do enjoy summer. It's just sometimes the food stuff, I'm like, we could stick.
People are going to be like, Todd changed over the summer. I just don't know if I can do that.
I enjoy the pools. I enjoy the ice cream. I enjoy those elements of it. But I am more of a fall. I love fall. Yeah. Like, I love the cooler weather, and I love, like, okay, we're back into, like,
the rhythms of school and life. Yep.
Like, I kind of miss, like, right now it feels like, sports-wise, I'm a big sports fan. It's just dead. Like, I know people love baseball, but it's like, you got to go watch the
Which
game.
is funny. Yeah, you were a baseball guy, too. So
but I'm like, we're in the middle of the season. It takes forever. And I love baseball, but I'm like, I don't really enjoy watching it on TV. No. I want to be there in person. And so, it's just one of those things where it just feels like
I miss my fall. This sounds really stupid. And I can't believe I'm going to say it out loud. I miss my fall wardrobe. I get
tired of being hot.
Yeah.
I also like.
I mean, it's a burden that you bear being hot anyway, but.
Temperature, please.
Temperature, please. Keep it focused, Chris. Right. Anyway. But no, that's awesome. I'm glad we got this chance to just connect and excited about getting back into this and spend some time together again. So
hope you all had a great summer, and we may have another update here, maybe in August, but we'll get back at it here in the fall of just kind of getting back into our next season.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.